This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly Doctor Who watch party. As you might notice, I've been given the keys to the TARDIS on my own this week, so you might even call this an X's for Show takeover. In all seriousness, though, I do have updates from our very own Mark the Candyman, who is currently sitting in a theater waiting for the next installment of the Doctor Who finale to air. And hopefully we will also get a little pop-in from Melanie after the episode is over. But for now, it is just me, your friendly host, who you've gotten to know for so long, Kevo from X's for Show. And I actually do have some friends with me, however. I managed to wrangle in some of the action pack. And first up, you've gotten to know me. You've met my husband, Nico Action. And now joining us is the often mentioned, but first time on the Traveling TARDIS appearing, our boyfriend, Jonah. Hey,
hello,
pal.
everyone. Hi.
Welcome. Where can everybody find you, sir?
You can find me on social medias at Peak Jonah, and to quote the show, that's P-E-A-K.
Yes. Are you excited?
Oh, I am. I was texting Kevo earlier that catching up to this episode, and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. This is, we're delving into a little less sci-fi, at least in my opinion, and more into like fantasy. And I think that's a very interesting genre mixing that we're getting with Doctor Who right now. And I personally really love it. Kind of like a D&D session.
I love that. I am going to also introduce to the stage, you know her as the queen of all things Billy Club. We have the incomparable Tori Sheehan. Tori,
Hi.
how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm not as up to date on things because it wouldn't be an X's for Show broadcast if I knew everything going in. But I've watched as much as I could this afternoon so I could be up to speed. And you can find
love
me
that. On SM Tori. I only want to interrupt because I see we have Mark and I want to try to get him in. Mark, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you. My signal's not great. I'm here in Culture Origin Cinema. We've got a couple of my friends with me, Andy and Chris. I'm not sure you can see them because the lights are pretty dull at the moment. We've got an interview. We'll just watch last week's episode in the full screen. Cinema's pretty much 50% packed. And we've got about 6 minutes. We're going to get a special message coming into the cinema. So we don't know what that's about. It's just come up on the screen and we're just literally just waiting for it at the moment. I'm probably going to have to come off pretty quickly because everyone's coming back. I'll see if I can switch my camera around because it's all dark in here. Give me 2 seconds so I can get my camera. Settings, camera, great. Paste that.
Here, let me show. This is what he showed us earlier. They have nice little. There's a little intermission logo, which I love. I didn't mean to step on your intro. It's just, we had a man on the street, obviously.
Men on the street always take precedence. You can find me online at SM Tori, hanging with these guys over at X's for Show.
And I love that you aren't as up to date and that you're sort of getting the fresh take of someone who has only seen so much of the story to try and give that perspective. When we were starting this new season of Doctor Who, I even said to Jonah, I don't need you to rush to catch up on anything. The whole purpose of this season and why it was renumbered as a season 1 was specifically with the intention of being able to bring in new viewers and people to watch the show who hadn't seen it before, and hopefully make it something that is accessible to both them and longtime watchers. And, you know, bringing in something like Sutek, which is from the 70s. I have the number somewhere. It's like 40, 50 some odd years. That is really cool. So
That's so awesome. I didn't realize that we had met this one before.
yes. And again, that's why I love that you're coming in sort of cold and reacting to this in such a way where, like, how does it feel as someone who is watching this and experiencing it for the first time? Let's have Melanie.
Yeah.
Hey, Melanie. I should have waited. I apologize. I got too excited. I'm going to take her off until she seems like she's ready. I'm just so excited to have people here. Tori.
I'm so excited to be back in this. You know, I watched all of New Who, and then I got super busy in life in the middle of 12's run. So I stepped away for a bit, but it's so exciting to have Russell T Davies back and to have all of these things going on. And he's pulling from classic Who, from New Who, to bring it all into the modern Who. And I'm just excited and happy.
Jonah, how about you? How about you feeling about tonight's episode? I think we have it, so we're ready to go. So how you feeling?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I have an idea of, you know, the ending is going to be the Doctor saves the day, because of course that's how it has to end. I am excited for that journey. I am excited to see how he's going to deal with the god of death that has a touch of death. And what are these gifts? You know, I think if this was like a white elephant, I think I'd be returning these gifts, or I'd try to be swapping with somebody, because I don't want these gifts.
It's not giving, is what it's not doing.
It's not giving.
All right. Well, I think we are perhaps ready. If our audience is ready for us to get started, we are not going to be showing the episode, of course. I am going to have up the little share screen on the side that I love so much. Here's handsome Dave's handsome face. He is busy tonight being handsome and out at award ceremonies and living the high life. So he'll be here Tuesday, I believe, and had to make sure we got his handsome mug up there. So yeah, I put up a little image on the side so that we're good. So is everybody ready? Everybody in front of their screens? Everyone good to go?
Let's do this thing.
Okay. I'm going to be I'm going to try to keep track of the time for everyone at home so that they are keeping on time with us, but some people might have to keep me honest. We'll see. All right. I am getting ready. Is everybody ready to tap it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Tap. I have the Blue Disney Plus logo. And I have the BBC, and we are running. I'm going to throw on a little bit of ambient noise for everyone at home. So I don't know if I've mentioned it to both of you before, but there's an alternate version of this opening credits.
Oh,
that features the actors hanging out of the TARDIS and the companion almost falling out. And they filmed it with both companions. And Stephen Moffat took one look at it and said, cut it.
He was like too close to the ponds.
I've said Sutek looks like Riff Raff from Rocky
Pocket Sand.
Ah.
What a distinctive shade of yellow.
If I'm not mistaken, one of the things that Mel was known for was because of her health, fitness, enthusiasm was carrot juice. So I believe that is what I would assume is the purpose of this color choice.
Okay.
This kid does not have a gun.
No, his scooter does.
13. Meanwhile, Rose just unbothered. She's probably like on Pinterest.
This is another Friday for her.
Yeah, seriously.
Mom, this is mental. Kate Lethbridge Stewart. Some people have argued as to why she took Lethbridge back up. I feel like just to honor her dad after he passed.
Oh, wow.
So dramatic.
I mean, RTD is in the house. What do you want?
I feel like moments. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I did love that we got another H Arbinger.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Harriet. I don't know. Moments like that always say to me, "Well, this is going to be undone," and that's fine. You know, it's about the heart. Oh.
Oh.
Knew she wasn't connected to this stuff, though.
Nobody feels that good, Mr. Stark.
Oh. Why does my brain want to say Mr. Tumnus?
I think that's the street light in the snow part of you.
Yes. I love the lamp. Yay!
Hmm.
Yes! Oh, we are just past 5 minutes in, folks, and we have some interesting TARDIS things happening.
It's like he knew what it was.
You know, they seeded it so hard in the previous episode by talking about its memory of made-up memories. If they didn't do this, I swear.
I love its design.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, right? I have some images.
Can I pet that dog?
These are from Tales of the TARDIS, where this was already featured.
Wow.
Who's a good boy? Interesting.
This is your life.
The graphics on Sutek look better this week.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Suket's
No.
voice sounds familiar.
He's the Beast from the Satan Pit episode in Series 2. He's done a lot of voice work. He's 92. This is the original voice of Sutek.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, snap. Good for them.
He sounds great for 92.
Ooh. Oops.
Eh. Oh my god, I need so many more of these Tales of the TARDIS episodes, guys. They've been so good.
Sorry, just a little sad because Mel got sad about a sleeve. Poor thing.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Uh-oh, don't have fire in space. People get mad.
Mm. Well, this is indoors.
Oh, okay. You did it. You solved the fandom crisis.
Also, we're fighting the god of death. How much science is there?
You know?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh.
Oh. "73 yards, you say?"
Mm-hmm.
Just past 15 minutes, and things are pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta play the tiny violin.
Literally. Love the heavy sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they're just on Earth, I'm just going to be very disappointed in them. Can't even go to Jupiter. Well, atmosphere. Hey, Jim.
think that was Claire from Fleabag.
You know what? I could see that. I would love that.
Mm.
Oh, I love that she's got Seven's jumper with her.
Oh no.
Big oh no.
Huh? So for everyone who's watching along with us, we're just about halfway past 25 minutes. So we're about halfway done. And things are starting to heat back up after a little bit of a moody couple of minutes there.
The Act 2 lull.
Yeah. Mm.
Hmm.
I have a compartment that does that.
Honestly, if I was an eternal being that lived for centuries and traveled the universe and I didn't know one woman's name, probably drive me mad too.
We all have a different chosen one plot.
I mean, it's always the last thing.
Always.
Some
gonna
abandoned
need him to put-
corridors.
I'm gonna need him to put his coat back on. This is too handsome.
No.
I think the
Keep it off.
jackboots and everything, like, this is a great
I thought
look.
they were at a military base.
Whew.
The cargo pants.
Yeah, and her with the Ripley tank top.
with
Even
the
Mel
whistle.
with her giant sweater is very, like, still very warrior refugee, sandstorm apocalyptica.
Yeah.
I also love this party that we're having in the chat. Hi, Jim. Hi, Michael. Hi, Tom. Hi, everyone. Ooh, I really like this Sonic color. It looks a little salmony or like
Yeah.
cream. I like that. Oh, the toy's coming out next month. Finally.
Yay!
Woo!
Is he also our first Doctor with facial hair?
Ooh. I don't know. That's a good question.
don't-
Very
It's
good
the
question.
first one that comes to mind other than War Doctor.
Yeah. But War Doctor was just like scruffy.
Yeah, that's fair. War Doctor was John Hurt really can't shave all the time at his age.
Yeah, there's a lot of crags in that face.
Rip, bless, miss him.
Has he been counting the silence on his fingers? Yes.
No, that's just an affectation.
All right.
Yes, John Hurt had a great look. Love a long leather coat. Love Shooty's orange one. Shooty. So it's giving Rumpelstiltskin at this point. Maybe we can use your mom's name to fight Sutek. I'm not complaining, just making a note.
Well, wasn't there a thing about a fairy circle before? Names are very important to them.
Yes.
It's true. That's true. And again, Christmas is going to end up being so important, I think. Moffat returning for Christmas, the name of that episode being Joy to the World. Cool teleportation effects. Ooh. Up. Is this going to be a twist or a fake out? I've got my timestamp at 34 minutes. And are we in for the twist, y'all?
Oh, we.
There's always a twist.
I hope she bops up snoots. Bad doggo.
You better work.
Work. What? Oh, we love an I knew.
I will say, that's not as threatening as I kind of want it to be. Just.
No, I agree.
Put a little like
What?
FX wavy around the hands.
Well, it's the Mavity glove. I'm sorry, who? Oh, work.
It's like a flying dog.
Mmm.
He needed walksies. He needed a walkies.
He's kind of giving 0, but no, okay, it's just the cape. The cape flies back a little bit. He's got arms and legs. That's good. Good for him. Is Ruby gonna be like, no, he can't help it. He's a doggo. Oh. Okay. I was like, that sentence makes no sense, but no, I get it now. It's a little Aurora Boreas, but I'm down. I'm on board. Yes, Diva.
Do we get the general back? We did.
Oh yeah! Oh, great call, Tori. Temp side. Oh,
Yay.
even this guy.
All right.
Yes, not this bitch. Ooh, not this woman though.
No, not her. We don't even know who she is. Yet.
That clever boy. You nasty witch. Who are you? Who gave you the right?
You.
Russell T Davies gave her some rights.
Yeah, that's true.
He said
But he
old
was
lady
back.
rights. Oh! Whoop.
I don't know if that was just friendly, but I'm down. Yeah,
Whoop.
mama.
Whoop. Whoop. Get it, girl.
Hey, Stewart, he is a mountain. And you are a mountain climber. Ooh, I love Michael Watson's point of the robot came back, so it's alive. Yeah, I think it's kind of cyborgy, the blinks.
Yeah, he said it was an alien species, I think.
Okay.
Wait, was
But
a planet
I feel
named
like-
Splatoon?
What was it called?
Splatoon?
I hope so. That'd be very funny. Food sphere, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's Claire.
That's Claire. What a lovely little role for her.
Yeah. This won't really do anything. It's fine. I'm just teasing.
At least we need to do something with the monster. It's still just being dragged by your ship right now.
Maybe I sort of took it to mean he used the god of death to kill the god of death. But yeah, I think we're going to find out. Oh, he's all sad. He's going to be a monster. I have an idea.
Is this how we get Miracle Day? Is this why no one dies for 24 hours?
Oh my god. I did not finish Miracle Day. I'm not even I can't even joke about Miracle Day. I read about it. We'll talk about it some other time.
Yeah.
Proud myself. Happy Pride. All right, we're just past 40 minutes, so we've got, I think, about 15 left. The colors outside the TARDIS window kind of look like the BBC opening colors.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like gonna kind of bisexual attitude out here.
Everyone is so into bisexual lighting because it's the blue and the pink. Like those are gorgeous colors.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just yay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Kate Stewart.
She just
You better work, Gran.
Make the tea. Oh. Mm. Mm. Work.
Oh, she playing Candy Crush?
She's typing out the text she wished she'd sent 7,000 times.
Oh, of course she is.
Of
What else would
course.
she be doing?
She's playing Wordle.
She's doing terribly at it.
She does it in incognito so it doesn't save, so her actual score could be good.
Wow.
I'm not saying I did that sometimes. I'm just saying that's something you can do.
I want to
I
point
do
out,
that
I
for-
love that we're getting. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I do that with the other New York Times games.
Some might call this a Spider-Man No Way Home scene, but
Yeah.
Doctor Who has done this first many times.
This poor barista just wants to know if it's your
Every
coffee.
time, poor
Ruby!
barista.
Ruby!
Why you gotta do coffee houses? Oh, white women crying.
The things we do to baristas.
Yes, Sega, I'm sorry, but this actually is that's why I had the spoiler tag at the top. This is a spoiler watch where we do mention, I'm sorry. But don't tell Ruby's mom that it's a time machine. I don't want her to know. Oh, no, it's fine. Connor Medlin, I would say that we are just under 50 minutes. So we have just about 5 minutes left on our episode. Yeah. Huh. We are behind. We are. Thank you for your patience.
Changed for the better. It's coming out in a couple months.
I know.
Well, part 1.
Where's that crossover? There goes the hum of the TARDIS engines. And I believe we are seeing Ruby Sunday saunter out of the TARDIS, not for the last time, as we know.
He still can't say those things to blondes, I guess.
I'm going to pop in Melanie, who has joined us. Melanie, we still have a couple minutes left. We just watched the TARDIS dematerialize from the Sunday flat. Ruby's women. Grandma got up! Yes, work.
Got a good part coming.
Mm-mm.
Mary Poppins.
It's Emma Frost.
Oh my gosh,
It's
it
Emma
is
Frost.
though. Mel, is there anything after Doctor Who will return?
I don't think so now.
No, okay. Wow. All right. So then 53 minutes just after actually is it seems when this episode ends.
Yeah,
And
just
what an
recap.
episode it was.
What an episode it was. Normally we do take a break, but I checked with the crew and they said they're good. So we can always just dive right into thoughts, comments, reactions to Empire of Death. Mel, since you're
My
jumping in,
husband is a
talk yet.
blubbering mess right now. He is just boo-hoo crying. He's just like, I just absolutely. This is a man who had kind of, he didn't give up on Who, but he didn't enjoy it as much, like in the past, quite few years, and just like, okay, no, he wouldn't call himself like a fan, but like these last episodes, he's just like this. He just we had something goes, this effing show. I gotta go mow the grass. I'm like, I can't. I love you.
I love it.
So yeah, no, I. So hello everybody. Hello,
Melanie.
I was trying to join in with my phone and it wasn't working, and then That's why I was like, I'll jump on it.
Bless. Well, Melanie, this is Tori and Jonah.
Hello.
Jonah and Tori. This is Melanie. Very exciting to have such a full crew on our little TARDIS to react to this episode. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if it was everything I wanted, but I feel like I learned a long time ago to stop setting expectations higher than I should. It's not always going to be Endgame, is what I always say to people now.
Yeah.
And that's realistic.
I think honestly, me giving, if you go back to all the reviews of the show, I've been giving this thing like 9s and 10s because I really have kind of had the bar just low and going, you know what? I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy this. Hopefully just entertain me. Just entertain me. Give me good Doctor Who. And I'm getting it. And I'm happy. And the world's good.
And I think
The world is
also,
alive.
yes. And I think also like that little speech that the doctor gave about it doesn't matter that Ruby's mother is completely ordinary. It's about the tale that we weave around her is enough to kind of be like, hey, if you thought this was going to be a bigger thing, it's okay that it's not.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's
like
too
that.
in reaction. No, go ahead.
No. I was just going to agree. Go.
Well, I feel like that's in reaction to the back and forth of a character like Rey in Star Wars, where she was nobody and then she wasn't, and some people wanted it one way and some people wanted it the other. I think whatever it was going to be, whether she was this, whether she was Sarah Jane's daughter or River Song's daughter, like, I think it would have been controversial no matter what the answer was.
I'm the terrible human being at the end when she's like, I just don't know what this means. And I'm sitting here going, please, Lord, let's say bad wolf.
That was another one. Yeah.
Just fight the people who hate the shippers of Rose and
Oh
Dick.
my God, everyone would burn things to the ground.
Well, and 10-2 though, like that would have been amazing. Start bringing that stuff back in. But I like Sega's point. It was basically RTD telling the fans, you were told no returning characters and villains. This is exactly what you got and exactly what the planet deserves. A completely normal family for Ruby. Well done, RTD, from them. And yeah, I think it was, not everything is always going to be grand. If I was disappointed by one thing, I thought the sign part was a little weird, just because I was like, but who knew to call her that? We didn't see her go back to the church and be, by the way, or maybe like she already had, and so she was like, I don't know, 2004, kids were weird.
Logically, it's also weird because she's just pointing to herself in the middle of the night to a street sign. Like, look over there.
I liked it more when it seemed like it was coming through, that she was pointing because to catch Ruby's attention once it was on the screen. I would have been okay with that being the reasoning and we never just had to say it.
Yeah,
does the character know that, that no way, now we know it's just a mother, and the mother was the mother, and she just had a hood on her head, and she did not want that snow on her face, and them saying, yeah, it's 2004. We have CCTV cameras. Mom knew that and was just like, nope. And we're just gonna nope my way out of that. So
her best Handmaid's Tale.
And I kind of
my gosh. Where did she get that? What is that? What was that? What was that cloak? What 15-year-old? Like, I was 19 when this happened.
That was some torrid stuff. That was Hot Topic. That was torrid.
Work.
That's my guess.
She's just really good friends with a theater costumer. And she was like, you know what I need? Something to hide my pregnancy and something to drop a baby off where no one can.
Ooh, okay.
I think she was in a production of Beauty and the Beast, and she played Belle. And so for the winter scene, she had to have a cloak. And she
played the Enchantress.
Yes, or it was Into the Woods. You know how London in 2004 loved Sondheim.
Got these magic beans. Oh, we have Mark. Let's see if Mark can hold the signal. Hello, Candyman.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, guys. I'm just basically still in the cinema, just coming out of it. Reasonable episode. It was quite good. We had like a 10-minute delay compared to when it started at midnight. Good. which was going on there. Some people, as you can hear, that I'm not sure. As people are coming out of it, a lot of people are like to wish it. But this is my friend Chris. What do you think of it, Chris?
Yeah, it was all right. I'm a bit confused by how a dog is, how a god's beaten by a rope, but we'll skim over that for now.
So yeah, we're taking the puppy on.
Oh, I didn't do that.
No, I didn't either.
I was gonna say,
My hands are over here.
Oh,
Hey, I'm not sure if we're not I've still got any connections. Okay, so one person thinks it was all right, other people don't feel about it. What about you guys? What do you think?
we all enjoyed it, I think.
yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So just coming downstairs.
I loved it, and I was a kid in a candy store when they were in that little remembered TARDIS, and I'm just like, and that's this, and that's this. And
Oh
that's
my
this, and
God,
that's
Yeah.
that, and that's that.
Well,
So I was like, we shut up. I'm
Well,
like, nope.
that-
Listen, this.
That memory TARDIS is actually from the Tales of TARDIS.
Yeah. I loved it. I've been watching all the Tales of the TARDIS.
Well, I've got some
I
light now.
Really enjoyed it.
Right, anyway, guys, I don't know how long you are, but if you guys are still on when I get back home, which probably might be like 10, 15 minutes, I'll see if I can join you.
All right, that's what there.
If not, I'll probably go out because I'm getting intermittent signals now. So
Okay.
I'll catch you
Thanks
guys
for
in a bit.
reporting from
Have
the
fun.
street. Bye, buddy.
What? Oh, they're reporting from the street. That's awesome.
So the climax, the thing that stuck me that out loud, I was like, I don't understand that sentence. Killing, what happens when you put death on death, you get life. I didn't get it at first, and then I got, he's using Sutekh to undo Sutekh's own work. So that was where I was like, it's like an Aurora Boreas, where like death is killing itself, and that's why he's being. And honestly, of like all of the RTD time paradox conclusions, I feel like that's one of the ones that more holds together for me than some. How did everyone else feel?
I was a little confused until it got to the essentially death dying cycles back to life. Okay, I was like, okay, I can buy into that. That's where you got me. Before I was like, I don't know what is going on. They just have this thing on a leash, and I wish. I also like don't want to fully always say Sutekh. I want to say Set. I want to use like the other names for it.
Right.
So that's just where my brain goes.
Yeah, I get that.
I wish. Obviously, with animation, I imagine it cost a crap ton of money. It looked great for what it was, and I don't want to denounce anything like that or tear it down. I wish it felt more threatening in the sense of like it moving a little bit more, because it felt very stationary. And
Okay.
I think for me, and when I think of like, okay, I'm thinking of like this world-ending threat, he kind of just sat in place a lot. And I would have loved to have him move around a little bit more. It just in the sense of like, okay, really feels like the threat. Not that the sand wasn't a threat, not that his avatars weren't a threat, or his angels of death, but more so just like the actual being of this. You have this very hulking, massive, and these beautiful wings, and then
I get you.
it didn't really move a lot.
I
And
hear
it
that.
feels like-
yeah, keep going.
Well, I just want to say it feels like that's the sort of motion it would have had in Classic when it couldn't move more because it would have been a practical effect. Tori. That's
And I
not an
also think-
excuse.
Right, that's not an excuse, but I think that when we see death and not necessarily the violence that comes towards death, when we see death depicted a lot, it's very stationary, it's very slow moving, it's the one that waits for you at the end of the line. You can't
Yeah.
past it. It's always going to be there. So I was not that put off by it. I enjoyed how much it was wrapped around the TARDIS very sinisterly, because for me, I'm one of the people that buys into the idea that the TARDIS is so very alive and has a personality and has its own mannerisms and machinations that it wants to do. And so watching the previous episode and this one, I was like, why isn't the TARDIS, lifting up its little flag of I've got your back and like doing things? I was like, something's off. And so when he's revealed as being so wrapped around it, I was like, oh, the TARDIS has a parasite. And that tapeworm is keeping her too skinny.
Got it. That was what was keeping her down. I get you. I was a little. Go ahead, please.
I say to that point, Sutek had probably lost a lot of weight since he was kind of clinging to the TARDIS for what was it? Let's see. I did the math. 49 years. So I think he's like, you know how like when you take a really nice long nap and you try to stretch and you can't because you're just still in that position. He was just still stuck like this. He's like, I can't move. He's like this is the position I'm in now. So
yeah, he's like the bumper sticker that's like super faded and kind of peeling, but still there.
But the adhesive's still strong for some reason on that one spine, that one part.
You can't scrape him off. Can't
nope. There. But credit to Gabriel Wolf for coming back to do the voice of Sutek.
Yes.
He was the one that did it back in 1975. That was even because we're listening to it. And I'm like, it's got that kind of Baker sound. And both me and my husband were like, oh my God, Pyramids of Mars. Yeah, so because my husband's like quickly Googles and busts out with that's still him. Because I remember watching Pyramids of Mars, eons ago, and thinking how much the two of both Baker and Wolf's voices kind of had that same timbre tone, that kind of vibe. And at first I wasn't sure who it was, but then realizing the man is 91 years old and he came back to do the VO for this. And he still sounds, whether they in post cleared it up beautifully or they just had the best audio equipment in the world. Because, 49 years of technology kind of helps a little bit. I mean, heck, we all have, good mics at our desks. So now for him, it's like, here, just do these lines, Lord knows. But yeah, 91, nice crystal, and just brought the performance.
And I love when they do stuff like that. The most recent one that I can think of that is comparable is when they brought in for Empress of Mars for 12's last season. Voice actor came back to do the voice of like some alien High Council member that had done it like in an original story back in Classic. And especially for minor stuff like that, like we love that stuff.
Yeah. And it's such a sweet touch too, because like the fans from before get all excited. The new fans are like, oh, it's so great that they keep bringing people back. Everyone gets paid. It's lovely.
I was a little disappointed by the dispatching of the alien. I kind of thought the Doctor was going to do something to like diminish Sutek and continue it being tethered to the TARDIS in some way. Like because the connection had been going so long, maybe it was a part of each other now and it was the best way to contain him. So I was surprised. I don't know. It feels like one of those things like when I see stormtroopers get shot in Star Wars nowadays, where I'm like, but you spent so long convincing us that the clone troopers are people with the Clone Wars animated show. Killing is bad, and then you kill. And, this stuff has to wrap up neatly sometimes. And I do also get that.
I had a very much a Star Wars vibe with when the Doctor's telling Ruby this is what she is. She's had 7,000 days to not think about this. He's bringing up the good point of, you should respect her decision. Maybe it's best to leave it alone because that's a very common, gigantic decision with a lot of people who are trying to reconnect if they're adopted out or, whatnot, or trying to find their birth parents that they can, but do you want that decision? Because it might go the way you love, it might go the way you're not so happy about. So I do like that he presented that. And then I really liked the feeling of that you would be as a friend quietly going when they just go off and make their decision, because bless, he let her make her decision. She made her choice. She's going to do it. He didn't run over there and grab her and say, no, I just told you not to. He's giving her the agency to make her own choices. But I do love how he was just like, okay, here we go. Let's see what happens. And at the very, them having the happy moment and the happy ending, and then her having it for Christmas, and them talking, and everyone's happy family. I literally thought Star Wars and go, this doesn't sit right, and go, wait a minute, I'm actually watching a show and they're giving me a happy ending. Why am I upset? I needed to shut the hell up and enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing that I always, I'm getting a happy ending. I don't understand.
And I feel like that moment is so interesting in comparison to everything that we've been seeing and feeling about the Doctor himself lately, where why haven't you gone back to look for Susan? Why don't you ever look back? Why don't you ever go back for people? And now this is the example that is being set for him by his companion. And it could have gone horribly, or you could get everything that you ever wanted. Sometimes life does go horribly. And, you know, we know that Ruby is coming back, so her story isn't over. And we might be able to still see some more peaks and valleys of Ruby Sunday's story, because that's life. And like, maybe we don't know what's going to happen with the dad. Maybe he's not as chill. And, you know, that's a lesson as well. But I think with how much the Doctor doesn't look back, having the companion set that example is very interesting. Other thoughts, please, by all means.
I mean,
I'm engaging in the chat. Sorry.
Yes,
Back and forth.
I don't mean to be ignoring the chats. I just see everyone is having their own good, a good time on their own. This is the voice I was referring to, by the way. Michael, voice of Alpha Centauri. Yes, Jonah.
So this was in the previous episode. It wasn't actually this episode, but I do love that a lot of other gods were named, and I'm like, oh, okay, we get to see that one, and then that one next, and then that one. I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm ready for more of them, because, like I said, I do think the tapping into the fantasy element, and we kind of even got a little bit of that with the Fairy Circle episode, and the 73 yards and what that all means. Even though that one has a less clear full of answers, I do love that we're starting to mix in those elements. I think it's a really interesting direction to take Doctor Who, because mixing sci-fi and fantasy, there's plenty of elements that can cross over, and you can still have sci-fi heavy while leaning into some more fantastical things that aren't fully explained by science, aren't explained by that the fictitiousness of the setting, outside of that's just how it goes. Yeah, there are gods now.
Yeah, no, I 100%. That's one of the things that I love that you can do with sci-fi and fantasy, is basically just be like, swap out angels for aliens, and congratulations, you've done it. So it's super exciting. I saw the comment from before, but I too think that at some point they wrapped a rope around one of the old sonic screwdrivers and kept going. So,
Oh, I love
fun.
And that was honestly, that was the boat. It was both the most strongest bungee cord I've ever seen known to man. Because at first I thought it was a rappelling line because it was really thick at the beginning, but then you realize it had the little hooks. I'm like, oh, it's a bungee, awesome. But then for it to drag Sutek through everything, and he's holding on with no problem. Like, okay, this is really strong bungee, and then it can't snap because the TARDIS doors are closing. I'm like, oh, so it really isn't that strong. Or
the TARDIS has razor blades inside of her, and she's like, no.
She was like, okay, get off. I have carried you for so long. Goodbye.
There you go. There was the clap back.
Did we
go ahead.
go? Well, I'm gonna take it as something new.
Go for
it. All right. I actually took the release of Sutek into the vortex, at not so much as removing death from the existence, but more just like spreading all his little bits back where they belong, because it is a cycle. It is a gift to each other that we do. Because that was live, I said, oh, is this how we get Miracle Day? He has completely eradicated death. And if he hasn't, then yes, death has to get sprinkled back down and be little bitty amoebas of death, and maybe enough of them will come together and he'll come back, and then we'll have to deal with that in season 912 sometime down the line.
I love that. We have back on the stage once again, we have Candyman. What's up, Candyman? How you doing? Probably XP up here.
Okay.
I know, the new Sutek.
Mark, you have something going on that's both awesome and horrifying.
I assumed it was on purpose. Are you modulating your voice or is your mic weird? You sound like Sutek.
You sound like Sutek. But unfortunately, I can't get words though.
Yeah,
no.
it swallows itself. So
I mean, you
might need to switch your
your
mic.
demon voice is awesome if you could do some metal.
Oh my gosh, right? Stare into the time vortex.
You take the Kevo, you're married to a music man. Get him to redo that Goblin King song into
yeah. Love that.
Try
Get the
again.
TARDIS translator on.
I know. The Cyberman.
Mark is
He's trying out
Sutek.
to
Absolutely, Tom.
He was touched by
Mark,
too much
try.
dust out there in the
And
real
get that
movie
man a
theater.
spoon. So did any?
Yes.
I wasn't prepared for. Okay, at the beginning when Sutek's going, and here we go, and everyone started to turn to dust, and I'm like, oh, here we go, Thanosing. Wasn't ready for Kate to go, but then as it just kept going and going, then I'm like, okay, wait, there's gotta come on, we need to have the ninth Doctor, everybody lives kind of just this once kind of deal. Mark looks like he's gonna log off and just try again.
I agree. I definitely like when he's like the everywhere is gone and he's like sad in the TARDIS with his legs hanging out. I was like, so we said, oh, the 14th Doctor is too traumatized to go through another regeneration. Let's give him a happy new version just to shatter him in 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
So yeah, Ed.
And then Kevo said, we're only 15 minutes in, and I was like, oh, we're fine.
We're good. But so it's dark. We're killing people left and right, but now it's a lot, But then I'm like, oh, okay, well, it'll be fine, because now suddenly it's gone from we're losing major characters to wait, I've seen this before. There's way too many people that are going away. I know there's got to be some type of like I said, everybody lives thing. But then RTD goes in there and makes it even darker. Because I don't know how many times my mouth dropped on this one with the baby. And, I think the baby's already dead, isn't she? I'm like, wait, what? I'm blessed that they didn't show anything. They just showed the empty crib and then the mom going away. And I'm like, wait, so this could go backwards now? And it affects your memory and all that other kind of fun stuff. I was not expecting that. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, the baby's dead. Like, this got real dark with some just some writing. And then of course, at least we saw her, mommy playing with the little baby at the end. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for, oh, you think I can go darker? Let's go.
It was very fascinating because it brought up this very interesting concept that your essence, your being doesn't truly end until the memories of you end, and the death of the memory, because you keep living through people's memories. And as very sad as it is to say that, once everybody's forgotten about you, you kind of truly do end. I do think that was also very fascinating that it was, it's not just even physically, it's people are being affected, like they're losing their memory, like the death of everything is happening. So now they're losing everything. They're losing everything about them. And I also love the little tidbit of the fact facts are also dying. So like that, and as a man of science, as a man who does engineering, where facts are everything, because that is that's what we trust. We trust the facts. We trust the physics. That was very interesting, and my mind is going to places of like, oh, what does that mean? The facts is physics all out of whack? Are there different rules now? Probably not, but I do think that's interesting.
Yeah, Mavity is all out of whack. I actually was very fascinated because we'd made such a big deal about time is memory and memory is time. And I was like, if the memories are disappearing, does that mean we're about to lose out on the time vortex? And then the Doctor is grounded. And what does that mean?
Yeah. I have finally started watching a bunch of classic thanks to Tales of the TARDIS. And then the list that Russell T made for this season finale, there was also Spirit from Space, so I watched that one as well. And it's just been so interesting, and I feel like it has made me such a bigger fan of Doctor Who and of modern Doctor Who, because I feel like I can see so much better everything that modern Who has tried to do that reflects back on classic Who. And, you know, you bringing up that point of that could have been some kind of twist. I was really fascinated as I was reading more and more about the Third Doctor and his grounding and how long that went on for. And when I realized that Lethbridge Stewart doesn't see inside the TARDIS until the Three Doctors, it seems, based on the Three Doctors, that's like 3 seasons or so into the Doctor being grounded. And there were so many ways in which they've told the story in all these different ways. And, you know, I think part of the thing I fear is I don't know that the world is ready for or would well receive some of these things if they were done again. I don't think if they grounded the TARDIS and it could only be sent out by the Time Lords for several seasons, I think people would freak out. They'd call it stupid right away. It would be dumb. You ruined Doctor Who. And it's vexing because, you know, the show's always been silly. The show has always been weird. The show has always had holes. The show has always taken risks and done weird things. And I appreciate Russell wanting to take risks. You know, I don't think that he did so much his first run around. He was trying to just bring it back and make it popular and known. And, you know, this bringing a character like this who is so obscure back in such a big way and making such a story out of it. And ultimately, like, I loved the point that everyone is kind of pointing to, which is Mrs. Flood is still around. She could also still be one. Who said the Legion were done? Just because we did get Sutekh here. My legions are coming. So we were expecting this big grand Legion finale here, when this might be an ongoing thing for a few years, for until next season. It's hard to tell. And, you know, it requires patience as fans. And I want to be. How do you feel about, you know, just everything and all of the sameness and yet changes at the same time that we have been seeing?
I'm excited if there are more, if we do get more of these legions, more of these gods, so on and so forth. If we're elevating the Doctor's capabilities to be so high, at a certain point he has to come up against people of equal or higher. And if he doesn't, I think it's still fan theory that he is part of this pantheon and he just doesn't know it yet. It kind of needs to be that often enough for us to be like, okay, yeah, like eventually we're going to get to a point where we have to go up something and there's actual stakes again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of mulling over the question.
Should be mulling.
I know.
Jonah, you got anything while she mulls?
Mulling
I'm
is fun.
also mulling.
See, we're both
Mulling.
mulling.
I mean, we can talk about how hot he looked this whole episode.
Everyone is so gorgeous. That's what that Disney money is for.
Yeah.
Kate looks great. Rose, Ibrahim, Mel, everyone looks great.
It's actually when Rose got eaten by the dust that I was like, oh, everyone's gonna live at the end. I was like, there's no way RTD would bring her back just to like.
Kind of would have been fascinating if it was just like, oh, we're just gonna restart a different universe.
We've threatened that before.
That would be funny. I was kind of wondering that when everything was just going away, and I'm like, oh, are we gonna go complete retcon now? Or we're just gonna go, okay, we're going to, are we going to a different universe? Or are we just gonna start again? But all I could think was that the 12th Doctor had already gone to the very end of time. So I almost kind of was wondering if he could go back to that. But then that would also tell you, okay, well, there's where's me, you know, then that's when you kind of think of all the other people flying around, like me and Clara are still running around in their own diner TARDIS. And you're bringing in more people. So I almost thought, maybe they're not going to complete retcon and get rid of everybody and go in. So yeah, he went to the revert instead, went with the reversing the polarity and the neutron flow and Uno reversing a reverse and going, okay, death is now deathing death. So here we go. And we'd be bringing life. So I thought, okay, well, that works. I'm like, all right, I'm here for the ride. Although my one kind of gripe, but this is also just on the Doctor themselves, and that's with the Doctor going, I have to be I now have to be the monster. And that's, again, the Doctor being the Doctor ever since the beginning of the Doctor going, being on his high horse of how great he is. I'm so petty right now. But here's the petty part. He cuts off Sutek. Boom, you're back. You're gone. Da, 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 da. I'm now the monster. I'm bringing death. I always wanted to bring life. Da, 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 da. Brother, you did the exact same thing that you did as 4. You tossed him into the vortex. You did the same thing. So just it's not like he pushed you to a new and intriguing level of being a monster. I was just kind of like, your solution is just the same as before, except this time you made sure that somebody was like 73 yards away from the TARDIS before you cut the line, and not just tossing him out the doors where he was like, I'm going to grab onto you for the 49
So he defeated him
years.
with math, is what I'm hearing.
Those facts had yet to go away. If you bring if the Doctor went to the end of time and Sutek is on the TARDIS, is the end of time dead? Does time continue unended? These are the questions of our lives.
And I wonder whether there's an intent to continue that story. I wonder if it is just this is self-contained. It's hard to say this early on without hearing more. One of the things that I have seen a lot in the chats that I do get is a lot of people had a reaction because they feel like Russell really hyped this finale up. It's going to be the greatest finale of all time. But I think part of that is that just is Russell's personality / what he feels is his job. And I think we also need to maybe be a little less distracted by that showmanship and understand his job is to be excited. But it is just a television show. And we need to not get ourselves excited because he does this historically. And I've complained about it in the past. I talk a lot about how I'm always really upset by the reveal of the next Doctor. It's actually even a great and funny episode. But the fact that it came 3 months after David said he was leaving the show, people really thought David Morrissey was going to be the next Doctor. And they thought this was what we were going to see him the first time. And that was the biggest ratings for the show after Kylie Minogue. Bigger than any other finale, the 50th. And it was a disappointment. The guy, his TARDIS was a hot air balloon and his sonic screwdriver was a regular screwdriver. And it makes a noise though. And it's funny and it's cute and it was a great performance and it's a really great and fun story. You can't take that away from it, but when you, like Jonah has been saying as we've been covering Drag Race, the lore, the behind the scenes of it all, I think that can affect your perception. If you even go all the way back to when Rose left, he said she's never ever coming back. And that was a full-on lie. They had the plan that David and Russell were going to leave after series 4. David almost changed his mind and stayed for a season of Moffat, but the plan was she was going to come back at the end of both of their run and they were going to do a thing to say goodbye to Rose with saying goodbye to 10, and that was a plan. But he lied because that's his job as the person who runs this show. And so when you do listen too much to the behind the scenes hype, that is going to affect your perception.
Agreed. And I think that's also something that I know Kevo and I have talked a lot about, the evolution of fandom and what it means to be a fan, and how in things like the Marvel universe and Star Wars and things like that, as they become more mainstream, the idea of a fan is just someone who enjoys the show. It's not always someone who knows all the stuff about it. And it can turn into that the people who know all the stuff about it become very not fun in conversations. or the people who aren't so involved deep into those things are suddenly hearing all of this new stuff and taking it as Bible truth, as opposed to understanding the sheer amount of salt that you have to take everything with, because it's coming through PR. It's coming through someone who's making money off of this ideas of what they should be saying. So
yeah, I think there is a lot of conversation about if you don't enjoy it, then you don't have to talk about it, and that's okay. We're all people that love various levels of Doctor Who. Mel, you have always been a much bigger fan of classic than I am, but I'm more coming to it day by day, and I feel like there is so much of classic, and like I really see where the person who loves Spearhead from Space and used that as inspiration for his first episode back in 2005, and now still talks about it so much. I definitely want to agree with we need to bring back just in general, bring back some old writers. I think that's really important. Not to highlight anyone in specific, but I'm also seeing a lot of comments about like the message. We are the message, in case that isn't clear. I am gay. That is my boyfriend with my husband. This is my queer best friend from middle school. We exist, and we love this show too. And I have been a part of this program, Traveling TARDIS, helping make it for 6 full years. I have made over 250 episode covers for this. We have Simon Fisher Baker and his husband who does the outro and intro music for this show. We exist, and I'm sorry it's annoying that you have to see us all the time now, but that's really all it's about. That's all Pride is celebrating being alive and existing, because when this show first started, we were illegal. It was not legal to be us, and people like us were still being like lobotomized and some really heavy stuff. And I'm also vexed by people complaining about him crying too much. It's just a little bit too much for me, but like also everyone's so upset about crying these days.
I would think that, and honestly, it's on one point, yes, it's Pride Month, and it's also, isn't it also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, or was it just a day?
That is correct.
Right? So
it should be a month. Yeah.
It's okay for men to cry. It's okay for men to have emotions, especially and any male, anybody who is identified as a male has been told you're not allowed to cry, especially I would say, hell, my father never cried. My grandfather never cried. That way, because they were told, don't all cry. And that's why that's why right now we're also in an idea of, we're also trying to push more mental health for everybody and more awareness. But there is a spot where that still exists, where boys aren't allowed to cry because of their gender, solely because of that. And here we are again with, to me, it has to be tied a little bit to, this doctor cries a lot. So the doctor's also going through some serious crap. It's okay.
Not for nothing.
I was going to say,
oh no, Tennant cried?
Tennant cries?
No
I've never seen it.
Do you know who I struggled to find a picture crying? Do you know who I struggled to find a picture crying? 13.
Yeah.
Seeing the ruins of Gallifrey in season 12 is the only time that I think she ever really seriously cried. Meanwhile, even 9 and 12, it's too much.
I swear to you, if she had cried for anything less than the total genocide and ruin of her planet, everyone would have been like, oh, so it's just a big emotions thing.
And then, again, I'm watching classics, so I'm seeing how incredibly awkward the doctor can be, how rude, how brusque, and I flash back to that moment where she didn't know what to say to Graham because of his cancer diagnosis.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get mad.
I found it awkward, but also, unfortunately, I do find that very the doctor. And I feel like they didn't want her to be the feelings doctor, and that's why they wanted to do an awkward moment, but, that's not... You know, and
have
it's
strong
all over
opinions
the
on that
place.
episode.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But I do think that we're on the right track with having more feelings more often. I think that is where we want to be taking the show, where we want to be
And I
taking
like
society.
Sorry. I liked that Ruby said I love you, because I think she said that as a endearing friend. I felt more friendship than anything, than more platonic kind of solid love.
She was very daughterly.
Yes, than a Rose romantic kind of love. So I love the fact that she said I loved you, and I love the fact that he didn't say it back. I'm really good with that. So that way there was no wires crossed or yes, I love you too. You know what? He might just not be there yet. That's fine. It's if you feel like you should say it, say it. If you don't feel it, it's okay too. But I really did like that she said I love you. I liked how, and he said goodbye. There has been so much times where the Doctor does not. I'm trying not to hit my thing so I don't hit my mic. Does not say goodbye. I'm so
Speaking
happy
of
that
goodbye,
he finally said goodbye.
Hello again.
Who are you?
Mark, we're going to try one more time. How do you say
Okay,
it?
is it working now?
Yes.
Yes. You don't
Solid,
sound
sir.
like a demon voice, and I love it.
You're
Okay,
back
it
from
was
the
the Sonic.
vortex.
Yeah,
Sonic,
Love it.
good sir.
the Sonic is it. Okay, what a crazy episode.
Yeah.
What was it like seeing it in a theater?
It's the first time I've ever
cinema.
actually watched a cinema. Yeah, I think it's different in the UK, or back in the olden days, the flea pit.
Oh.
Because basically, during the war times in the UK, when they used to watch the news, it used to come through to the theatre or the cinema, and it was full of fleas, and you used to get it. So that's the nickname in the UK for a flea pit. Yeah, it was surprisingly quite packed for a midnight showing. There was like 50%, over 50% seats taken up. I didn't know how the format was going to be, whether or not they were just going to go like literally straight into it, or whether or not they was going to do 2 episodes and break in the middle. Which they did do that version. And we had a special message from Ruby halfway between them.
Nice.
I'm not sure. I did drop. My friend recorded it unofficially, and I think I've dropped it into the chat. So I'm not sure you can pick that one up.
Nice. Awesome.
But
Very cool.
so yeah, that was quite good. Mixed feelings in the cinema. There was a lot of mixed feelings about this episode. Some people thought it was absolutely garbage. Other people thought it was all right, and other people thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. Me personally, I really enjoyed it until when Sutek got the leash put on him. I thought that was a bit corny.
I mean, he was wearing 18 collars. At least one of them had to have a bungee. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's Sutek's bling.
That's his fit.
And it was his downfall.
And it's the strongest bungee. Just saying.
Yeah.
I would love to know what bungee they used for hurricane supplies here.
I'm going to ask you a question. I know some of you've seen Tales of TARDIS or Pyramids of Mars. Would you prefer Sutek with red eyes or green eyes?
I don't think I have a preference.
Oh.
For me, red usually signifies evil. You know, definitely robots. Things like invokes those kind of imagery of like, okay, we see bright red eyes. We assume danger, death, evil. So in my mind, that makes more sense in terms of storytelling of like telling the audience, oh, this guy's a threat.
Right. Because like in the original, it was green, and in the new one, it was that. I was quite interested to see when they was pulling the Pyramids of Mars, and Ruby say, "Who's that old man there? Who's that person with him?"
Still not confirming exactly. That was interesting.
Yeah. He's still denying that he regenerates.
Or at least what he has been.
I love the memory TARDIS, which if you see Tales of TARDIS, that was also quite good. And I love Mel holding Colin Baker's jacket, like she's like touching it and feeling it.
It was so cute.
That was
Really the little
cool.
sleeve.
I think what else I liked about it. I didn't like seeing my commander in chief getting wiped out. I was like disappointed about that.
I love how fierce she is with all her people, though.
Yeah.
If she loses an officer, she's just like, "No, you come here now. I want a status report now." I like when Kate becomes. I like how now Kate has been more. She's become more, even more so flushed out when you could see that she can delineate between her on a professional level, her on a personal, quasi-personal professional, where she has her authority, she's still in her role, but she is conversing very, just in a conversational tone. And then when she goes straight on, I am the, commander of unit, I do this, you are not talking about it. And everyone's just, sir, yes, sir. I like how Kate goes through those three, and that and now the actress's name just slipped my mind. How she's able
Gemma
to
Redgrave.
Gemma Redgrave. Thank you. How she can even kind of change that, and how when she's in that very personal kind of, she's armored up, she allows like some cracks to kind of come through her mask that she's put on, where you can still see a little bit of emotion, but you can see that she's holding it back because right now she's in job mode.
Yeah,
and I think we really saw a lot of that in this episode.
When I met her in real life, she didn't take any crap from anyone. She was like literally like, that's it. However, talking about Robin Lyons' comment, 73 yards. I guess it did happen. And if it did happen, where's the doctor?
Yeah. I don't know that we will ever get any more answers about that, but the idea that these things linger, that, a time loop doesn't necessarily just always erase, and that there's vestiges, is very interesting.
And if we know, because I guess we're doing spoilers and everything now. So here's a question. Did Ruby actually make it snow? Or did Mrs. Flood make it snow?
I'm beginning to think it's Mrs. Flood, because why else did you show Emma Frost looking at the end?
And what happens to a river when it gets overflown? Just a theory.
Oh, flood. Yeah, something we were talking about is the potential that she's one of the legions. We were told that legions were coming, and we kind of assumed that Sutek was the grand finale of that, but that could be an ongoing thing.
Mrs. Froman, 73 might be subconscious, because it was just quite interesting. Like at one time when Mel was getting ice chills, because she was out of the room when she was getting
the floor was all icy.
The floor was icy, and it started to snow behind her, not in the same room as Ruby. So for one moment, I thought Mel might be Ruby's mother. But right at the very end, when it snowed across Mrs. Flood and not Ruby.
Yeah, exactly. And she had her cute little outfit ready. Yeah, Mel?
I'm beginning to think that, Mrs. Flood is more the trickster. Someone else said Mrs. Flood could be the master if they're doing, a Missy again. And I'm hopeful that they don't do a master again. Just give me time. I love Missy.
Yeah, and more than that, even more than just give it time, to me is there's other, thank you. I'm trying to get to that comment quickly, but the Ronnie.
Sorry.
Meddling Monk. I'm in the middle of the Time Meddler. I didn't get to finish that one. I watched a little bit of some other ones as well to get a better vibe. But that's something that is out there.
And 14 brings up Ronnie the monk and a few others. So I'm hopeful.
I love this question of, could this have been another thing that brought Gallifrey back? I really hope that
possibility is.
I hope it's out there hiding somewhere again still, because 20 years ago we got rid of Gallifrey because it was expensive. You can afford it now. Come on, bring back Time Lords. Do it now. Do it next season. Do it now.
I was wondering if he was going to point out Gallifrey when he was going through all the planets, but my heart did grow 3 sizes bigger when the Ood sphere was saved and brought back.
Yes. Oh,
Yay,
love
the
seeing
Ood!
references.
Yeah. So on the whole, how do you guys? Because like I said, I was in and out of the cinema, so I didn't get to hear much of what you guys were saying. How you guys find the episode on the whole?
I think
Surprise! I loved it.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty positive.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed myself quite a bit. It was fun. It was exciting. There was tugged at your heartstrings. It had a good ending. I was very happy.
Yeah, it got to be emotional.
This Lady Albus, the death meets death equals life. That for me, I had said earlier, I think it was using death to kill Death's own machinations. I didn't get it at first, but like then I was like, oh, okay. Now I understand. It's still kind of confusing language, but Russell likes being a poet.
Yeah,
it's double negative.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. By making death a negative as opposed to it's just part of what is, it makes it so it's negative times negative is a positive.
It makes me think of Stephen Moffat's line in Silence in the Library, a million. Like, just say the real number, dude. Come on. Don't be confusing.
But you have to remember, this is for the youths. The
Yeah.
youth. They don't know what a million is.
No, they just want to hear something fun and big, a big number.
I almost felt like feel like when he was the Doctor, Ncuti was saying that, right, I'm now becoming deaf. I thought that he was more like becoming Time Lord Victorious again, which I do miss. Like I say, I put my hands up. I do miss Time Lord Victorious.
Oh, I know you do.
However, I still don't know whether or not. We was discussing it with my friends in the car, and what we think is because every show so far, Ncuti has been crying. In every episode, Ncuti had tears running down the thing. So I don't know whether or not he's still trying to deal with emotional trauma out of sync, or that he's lost the ability to deal with stuff.
I just really think that this Doctor's more emotionally connected. I think he's just more because I know people, I know guys that that's who they are, and they have no problem letting the tears fall if they're feeling, that level of emotion. And I'm a freaking robot. I wish I could cry. I wish I could feel grief like other people, so I don't have to be told that, clearly I didn't love somebody at someone's funeral. So I kind of, as you can see, I can get really personal on this one. So I'm okay with him having the single tear. I think it can become, it's going to get very desensitizing because we're always seeing it. And whenever we've seen it presently in other pieces of, filmed works, usually the single tear, whenever the tear is going to be more poignant, it's only used very sparingly. It's only supposed to be at this high crescendo moment when there's a lot of emotion. And here we're having one where it's the level set is no, you can just be in touch with your emotions at all times, or at least this particular Doctor. Yeah. Whether or not they want to bring that in as a story arc of why is the Doctor so more emotionally charged? I think that was already reset when he did the bi-generation and flat out told, Tennant, look, we need therapy. Okay. We've gone through some, so
crap. Yeah.
I think
and he's still not getting it.
Yeah. And he's still not getting it. I mean, all he's doing is still running around fighting monsters and all that kind of crap. Again, I'm good with the tears. I'm not going to start staring at this, shaking my fist of, oh Lord, he's crying again. I'm too busy. Next scene. Yeah. But if that upsets you, I understand. It's something that's just not jiving with you. Fine, fair enough.
Like I said, I can understand it when it's like intense emotion, like when he's standing on a bomb. But I'm finding and this is where I'm finding that Ncuti's Doctor's a very reactive Doctor.
Yeah.
When I was watching Tales of a TARDIS, seeing Ncuti in the bookends being very, very reactive and thinking about because of what's happened with Sutek. And then comparing it to Tom Baker, where he like, oh, there's 4 people dead. Oh, make it 5. And he was cold and callous. And it was like complete opposites. And I was like, no, which one do I prefer? You know what I mean? But I find him that with Tom Baker, Doctor, he knows what everyone's doing. He's like a step or 2 steps ahead of most people. A bit like how David Tennant was 2 steps, 3 steps ahead of it. I'm finding Ncuti, he's literally going through this like blindfolded and he's just reacting to the situation rather than knowing what's going on. But I don't know what your thoughts are. Are you finding the Ncuti being more reactive, or do you think he's knows what's going on and he's got a plan?
I think it varies. Go ahead.
I know that I had found after Tennant, who I felt really always had a plan. I felt that Matt Smith's doctor never had a plan and was always flying by the seat of his pants. And I just think that that's just something that the doctor will cycle in and out of, because once you get through all the stories where the doctor's the best, the doctor's the best, the doctor's the best, you eventually have to go back and have seasons where he's struggling. I think the emotions thing is also part of that. I agree with a lot of the comments and the thoughts that that the splitting allowed for more connection, more rawness to it. But I also am interested to find out if this is possibly cultural, and that all the Americans really connect to the emotion showing and the crying, and perhaps the British may not.
That's a good possibility. You're sorry, Kevo, go ahead.
No, the only one that I felt ever the entire season was perhaps just too much was the saying goodbye. And it's just because in that moment I would have liked him deciding that this wasn't a sad moment. And that is the reason that I would have appreciated passing on that. And I am really interested to see Mundy next season, because I feel like she is a lot tougher, a lot less emotional, and I think we will still stick to the platonic relationship. And I wonder if we will see her be a little bit gruffer. She's a soldier, so I wonder if there will be a marked shift in how the doctor interact with his companion next season, and how that affects his emotions.
Yeah, that's right. And
is she the first non-companion first companion not from Earth?
No.
In modern,
does Nardo count?
Nardole. Yeah, kind of. Nardole, we always are like, how much is he a main companion? But I believe we're under the impression that Mundy is going to be a regular.
Captain Jack wasn't Earth.
Yeah.
No.
He was like an Earth colony 4,000 years in the future, though.
Yeah.
So if anything, this is reflective of that, which is going to be very fun.
Mm-hmm.
We need more aliens. We need more robots. We need more people from outside of time. Very much more people from outside of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only think of Jack and Nardole for modern Who.
That's also probably part of the audience, the companion is the audience's point of view thing, and we won't connect as quickly to something different. Look how some people don't connect to the show anymore because of differences they see between themselves and the doctor. So,
but Tori, I think you've got a point, because the British way of dealing with crap and an American way of dealing with crap is completely different. Even if you look at our humor, like we'll take the Michael out of our own selves. We'll be the butt of the jokes. We could call ourselves stupid, or we could call ourselves dimwit. And that, especially like if you watch Blackadder, okay, you will see that, okay, I'm trying to get out of this really crappy situation. It hasn't worked. I'm a stupid idiot. When you watch Americans, they're like, but you can tell me if I'm wrong, but from British perspective, when you watch American shows, it's very much trying to build each other up, and you don't have to deal with the crap as such. You try to pass it on, or forget that it exists. We're just here for the good times.
Yeah, self-deprecation is definitely one of those characteristics in television that is not positive in American TV
Right.
too often.
In the UK, it's the reverse.
Mhm.
It's always because we basically, I'm not sure how or why that is, but we always try to if someone's going to take the Michael out of you, you better do it yourself because no one else can do it better than you.
Mhm.
The thing I immediately flash on in regards to that is Dot and Bubble and the way that the characters spoke to each other. And like I pointed out at the time, the way that Lindy spoke to herself and calling herself stupid and you're an idiot and, very spiky language. And
We don't do that.
Yeah. And, something I hear a lot is Doctor Who is for everyone. But if Doctor Who is for everyone, then it does need to start thinking about international audiences and the way that an American audience is going to react. And, as a culture in general, like trying to come together and have things that we all enjoy. And I think I appreciate perhaps that intention. Sorry, I got distracted by the comments.
So
I'm
many
sorry.
comments. It's so exciting.
No,
Sorry, I
you're
was trying
fine.
to stay on the comments.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm not always great at that, especially when we have so many exciting things for all of us to talk about that are right here on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one that's half an hour ago. They did do a super chat, thank you for the £2. And the chat is it bad that I was disappointed by the episode? The answer is no.
No.
You can feel disappointed about the episode. If you had higher hopes, that's absolutely fine.
Of course.
Oddly enough, nobody here is going to bash you for not liking it or liking it. You're allowed to like and not like stuff. But if you're still around, I'm sorry again that I did it half an hour later. Tell us why were you disappointed? I want to, good feedback, bad feedback. That's what our channel is about. We're going to talk about, we like to talk Who. So yeah, I will try to be on these chats.
And this is why I like this family, because we can have our little tiffs, but in the end, we're all talking about something that we all love.
I can absolutely despise Mark and his love for, his love for Unit, and everything is how Unit is absolutely infallible. But I still stand by, I still love him so much that I will send him ranch dressing packets because he can't get that in the UK. And he keeps inundating me with Terry's chocolate origin. That's a fair trade. I got him. I got him an ornament.
I did send Mel, yeah. I just released a Terry's chocolate mint. Like a chocolate orange, but mint flavor.
Terry's is branching out.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to try that. And I still owe you a Reese's cup with the caramel so that you can try that one.
This
is what we do. We have point, counterpoint, and then we share sweets.
And we eat a lot of chocolate.
Just a lot of jelly bellies and jammy Dodger things.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful. And then I've sent him moon pies.
I meant in the finale.
Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind.
Moon pie finale. But it was a bit weird watching the first show at the cinema, like last week's show before the new show. I know it was because I thought it was going to be more like a feature length, but then they just put that massive break in the middle, which felt like disjointed. No one knew what they was going to do because they had like a 15-minute timer. Like, oh, do we go to the toilet? Do we not go to the toilet? You know what I mean? No one knew what they wanted to do in the cinema.
I don't remember if any of the events that I've gotten to go to were 2 episodes. I don't remember what they did with the pilot and Class, Doctor Who season 10, and the first episode of the Class. Tori and I did the series 8 premiere in cinemas. I remember that, but that was just the 1 episode.
Yeah.
We had Dr. Freedom on earlier this year, didn't we?
He's in our chat. I still see Brian here and there. I
think he was on the show. Maybe not. Oops, sorry.
Sorry. I'll get it. So I saw that. I was like,
Doctor Who,
Brian.
Dr. Freedom.
I favorited this one earlier. Today is Tasty Cake's 2-year anniversary for being on the show. That feels crazy to me.
Yay!
For 1 million years. That cannot be possible.
Oh, that's a good question.
We're all dysfunctional, Tom. Yes, Mark.
The one which Kai Marvin said about things. He got colour changed yet again. Did you notice that?
From the last episode?
Well, no, he got an upgrade, yeah.
He got an upgrade, but then if you see him again after it's been destroyed, he went downgrade. He went back to normal silver rather than the green silver.
Oh, he got. Did everyone get restored to factory default?
Oh
Will my skin suddenly be gorgeous again? I really have been just a little.
No, you're working it, girl.
Probably would be like a nice exfoliation to get dusted and then be brought back.
Oh my God, the best exfoliant in the world.
I'm glad the adoptee story worked for you, Edward. As you know, as an orphan, a lot of the notes of this story I really got. And Russell is now someone who's also lost, I believe, by this. Yeah, no, he lost his mom ages ago, and he lost his father and his husband. So he himself is also going through. He's in a different era of his life, and I think that's why he is also more interested in happy endings than depression. If you have depression, go to therapy and get on medication. Don't just watch television. He wants to tell stories that make people feel good. And, if you can't say you love the Doctor at Christmas and you love treating him like Father Christmas, if you don't love when the Doctor makes you feel good.
It's true. It's true.
Flank's lost its head.
Yeah, it did, like Lucy said. I'm sure he was like one of Henry VIII's wives.
So how are we feeling? Do we have any? Go ahead, please, by all means. I didn't know if we had.
I like the practical makeup that they did in this. I thought that, just talking about quickly side notes on when it comes to makeup and costume and just the set and everything. Really thoroughly enjoy. Once again, with money comes, they did a lot of decent practical effects. I think for me, when you can have the money to put into a practical set, that's going to help your actors, that's going to help your lighting, that's going to help everybody really set the scene, and really you're going to see that translated to what's on the screen. And then I personally like then my digital effects being the add-on, the thing that's going to make everything shine. So them being in the the time window. The holodeck.
Everyone's going to call it the holodeck.
The holodeck. I liked how they built all of that out, and that how wonderful it looked, with the effect of with the mom walking back and forth, and just setting the scene. On one hand, when Mark had asked earlier whether if I missed the green eyes or the red eyes, I was kind of thinking back to that scene where we have all the dust and the mire and the smoke kind of going around the TARDIS, and we're not sure what it is, and how that red was inside. And I almost wonder if it was green inside to kind of reflect the eyes, if that would have made it feel more magical or mystical, rather it being red with all that kind of dark just being evil and making me think hells and all that kind of stuff. When they start talking to oh Lord, I forgot his name again. I'm not good with names. The guy who walks behind there, he's like, I'm going to take a different point of view.
Oh, Tim Side.
Yes. Yeah, and the one I was really excited to see come back.
What's really funny about
I know. I was so happy, and I felt so bad when that poor man woke up in the holodeck by himself, like, ¿Qué pasa? Like, what's
something that's really funny about the eye color question is everybody knows I talk about the writer's tale all the live long day. Where is my copy? It's somewhere. I even took it out for this occasion. But one of the things that he talks about, an extended portion, is in the show Second Coming. He specifically didn't want the demonic beings to have white or red eyes because he didn't want. He was thinking about that. He didn't want it to be too tied to the cliche, stereotypical colors. He wanted green then. And I think don't remember how it worked out anymore. I never watched it. He either need to like make them go back and fix it, or they didn't do it right. And like he thinks about stuff like that. So I do think it's interesting that he would go in a different direction at this point then.
Well, I think for me, as Jonah talked about, like with the color theory, when you, as someone who is a fan of Hades and understands that death is part of the cycle and of everything and isn't actually the evil in the world, it's just part of it. For me, seeing the red lets me know that the story considers this a villain. Because like, if you were just like, the god of death is showing up and he's the one that's been trailing the doctor and something's up, I'm just like, yeah, but it's not his fault. He's like, it's like a mushroom. You can't fault a mushroom for mushrooming.
Does it give me extra life or a power up?
Oh, please. If it could just like throw some bananas behind me, I would appreciate that so much.
Blue shell.
But I must admit, the green eyes does give it more of a psychic. And this is where, going back to the original Pyramids of Mars, it was more that Sutekh had more mind control and more psychic abilities in the old version of Sutekh. Yes,
I had more of a mysticism kind of feel in the old Pyramids of Mars one.
Well, the new
because he was this voice that came out of a statue.
Yeah, because that's the thing which I did find quite. But with the Harbingers of Sutekh, they had their own mind. It wasn't Sutekh's mind as such. They was going in and out between Sutekh and their own mind. Which is similar to the other one, but that was because he was trying to remember who that person was. But when he was trying to do like Sutekh's will, then it didn't feel like it was Sutekh. They felt like their own character, if you know what I mean. Apart from the last week's episode, when they start saying what Sutekh was saying, overboard, I am Sutekh, I am blah blah blah. That was like more like how I felt Sutekh was. But in this episode, I feel like they lost that a little bit.
I don't know if this is real or not, and this might just be fanfic that I've read at some point, but I've always gotten the impression that anyone who travels with the Doctor or wanders through the time vortex is like a little bit like touched by an angel, where like they have just like a little extra like smear of defense against villainy and things like that, and that it's Mel's just loyalty and compassion and want that keeps her fighting that long, as opposed to everyone else who's sort of like, no, we're just human, so of course we right away.
I get that, especially since she escaped with them.
That didn't really happen with Jaimie and Wendy. They got their mind wiped, so they don't remember going through the vortex.
Well, sometimes it's just doily and plot too.
But I'm not sure whether or not that's fanfare. I haven't come across it, but it does make sense, especially right with Rose and Donna. Like mainly with
Rose, they did stuff about the background radiation from traveling with the Doctor is what
because they had the Arton energy on them.
Yeah. Because we're traveling through the vortexes.
Yay!
Christian is with us. Hello. Yes. I don't know how much longer we're going, but we had so much to say. I know we're going to have another review on Tuesday as well.
Well, it's 2:15 in the morning for some of us. So.
Oh my gosh! Yes, that is true. No, this is a madman. You would be up anyway. Don't even lie.
Yeah, probably.
You're crazy in the coconut.
I'm more like a vampire. I like sleep during the day and be awake. I should have it. My body clock should be in America.
Maybe that's what it is.
But yeah, it was a very good episode. I don't think it was a 10. But I think it was very, very good. But
yeah, this feels like a solid 8 to me for sure. 8.5.
I think it'll require rewatching and like thinking about the story a little bit more and finding out what comes next, not just in terms of Christmas, but like everything about what's coming next in production. Like Mel brought up the comment, Unit spinoff. They keep talking so much about Unit, it feels inevitable, but there's nothing confirmed. The last spinoff I think we heard anything about was Silurians versus Sea Devils, which, what?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's actually about a girls' lacrosse team, and they just wow, what a rivalry!
Yeah,
It is.
pretty much that's true.
Yeah,
Candyman lives off of candy.
Now that'd be interesting. Unit versus all-state American ladies lacrosse, and they get their asses kicked by the lacrosse team.
Oh, you want to?
But the girls would lose at cricket.
Yeah. No, Americans beat the Pakistanis. Thank you very much. We're good at cricket now. We're good at cricket. We have a part-time team, and we beat them.
Now
for the World Championship. It's a big deal.
I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm not going to go there.
Oh.
Well, on that note.
Yeah.
Look, we invented soccer, and we still can't win it.
Yeah, I mean, you called it that first. We're just holding on.
I know.
God bless.
Mm-hmm.
But
so,
yeah,
what do you think?
What do you think, Kevo?
Do we have final thoughts? How are we doing? It's getting a bit late. I know Candyman needs to go to bed. You had a big night.
Yeah.
It's a weekend. You know what I mean? And what's time
right.
anyway?
What is a weekend?
I know.
Time is a memory.
For me, it's, when I'm done here, I'm going to play Baldur's Gate. So.
Oh, same.
Nice.
I have some Drag Race to catch up on.
Ah!
I'm going. Sorry,
I'm in Act 2. Just just putting that out there. I'm in Act 2.
I'll be watching Mr. Robot. I've got into this thing called Mr. Robot, and
nice.
I didn't realize it came out so long ago.
It did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was living in Spain, so I never even heard about it until recently. So
it was. You're in for a treat.
Rami Malek is great.
Gwen Cooper. Wow.
Ooh, talking about Gwen Cooper.
Because remember they were. Sorry.
I saw this week RTD was making that he wants her back.
Yes, he does. He wants Evie Miles back. So
good for her. Get that paycheck. Make it rain.
Love her. Really, truly. And I get, people always ask the questions, where was Torchwood? Where was Jack? Where was the Bigenerative Doctor?
Right.
This TV show, I'm sorry. We can either have all of these friends that exist and understand they can't come and help all the time because that would be prohibitively expensive and exhausting on the runtime, or we cannot have friends. But unfortunately, this isn't a comic book or an animated show. And what?
I was going to say, listen, in comic books it happens too. There was a period of time where Magneto took over New York for 3 days and nobody came to help.
I was going to say...
Because I was going to say, in comics, you can have crossovers, and they only scheduled crossover events when there's time to sell every one of the comics that has a hologram sticker on it, or nobody. It's like I never got a single issue of Fantastic Four, but they always showed up in the comics I was reading.
Yeah,
when they
between the Doctor landing and the dustining, there's 2 hours in real time, 3 maybe. You can't get to credits from there that fast.
That's always something too. I think people always forget about scale. There's that giant inflatable dragon on top of the Empire State Building right now for House of Dragon. And I was telling Tori, God, that really puts into perspective how small a dragon is. You think it's going to be enormous, but then you see it up next to a skyscraper and you're like, oh, the world is freaking enormous. Yeah, Godzilla is much tinier than we think. And so, it's just a really big world, and it's hard for all of us to get places. Mel can't always get a lift on a Zingo, so it just is what it is. Maybe Torchwood got COVID. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going on with COVID in the Doctor WHOniverse? He didn't fix it.
What I don't
Can
understand.
they write Mafani, or is Mafani too small?
She's bitty and she's hungry. Don't do that to her.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to tax her.
You don't ride on elephants and you don't ride on pterodactyls. It's just bad for their backs.
But Gwen riding a pterodactyl would be awesome, and I'm here to see that.
That'd be hella sweet.
Maybe for a couple minutes.
Yeah, just for a couple minutes, just to swoop in, and be like, "Ha ha! I got you."
Yeah.
Tom says crossover event. Melanie is on another show, but maybe another station. Oh, I think is he watching it on my channel? No,
Maybe.
so I don't even know what he's talking about. He's just being crazy. Oh, no,
Unless
wait.
this is the Earth,
No.
Earth Station Who, we did have an episode that we were just doing, but that we were reviewing back. I'm all over the
That's
place.
right.
Damn
You're
it.
going to be on the Earth Station episode. That is correct.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah, you know,
My
I think
apologies.
this is what to do.
Are you the impossible girl, Melanie?
Probably, maybe. No, because unlike Clara, I at the end of the run, I'm being better. With 12, I understand regeneration, even though I just ran through all of them and then suddenly thought, well, I don't understand why he regenerated.
So you're not going to open like a diner in Treasure Island then?
No. Absolutely not. I loved Clara so much. And then
And everyone thought Mrs. Blood was going to be Clara because she was wearing the same outfit. I
know,
can't
right?
tell
I was like,
sometimes
please
if
don't let
these
me-
are red herrings, if they're just Easter's. Like, I think the duffel coat that Ncuti wore in 73 Yards, it was just, it's an Easter egg. It's a visual Easter egg. Remember the time that Sarah Jane wore a coat like this? It wasn't a clue. So I think some stuff is just,
It's just a joke.
yeah, it's just a lark. Remember that time the Doctor wore red? Well, look, he's wearing red again. Isn't that nice? It doesn't mean that
you
he
can have
is, secretly also the Ronnie. Doesn't mean Clara's. I would love to see Clara come back, though. Clara's Diner.
Jenny come back.
Jenny.
She's right there. She's right there.
And she loves her husband and her dad so much.
So much.
Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities open now. So
oh my gosh, it sounds like you guys are getting ready for a possibilities episode next. And shouldn't waste it on here.
We've got a lot of exciting prospects for new broadcasts with everything that we've discussed, with everything that's happened this season. I know Dave wants to go back and really do a deep dive on this season. We'll probably end up doing a deep dive on Tales of the TARDIS, because that's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see how they connect the old stories with bringing these characters back, and hopefully it's a portent for stuff that we're going to see coming in the future. And
we'll also do Big Finish as well, audio dramas, I think.
Yeah, there were so many gaps for Big Finish to fill from this season. That's why, they mention off-screen stories. I know we only got 8 episodes this season, but hopefully it means we've got more adventures coming in Big Finish, and that'll be fun.
I know they've written some books. I know Target have done pretty much most of the episodes, but I think there's a couple of writers who have done other stories with Ncuti and Millie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else?
As do I. I do love when shows mention other shows. I like callbacks. I like Easter eggs. I like clues for other stuff. I like when you just go, oh, look, it's that. And then sometimes it comes something, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, again, I know I'm going to be going through this TARDIS and just pointing out, like, I yelled with glee seeing one of the masks from one of the clockwork robots from Girl in the Fireplace. It was in that TARDIS. And I was like, does that mean we're going to see one of those again? Probably not. But was that for me and y'all?
Did you see Melanie pull out the Sonics?
Oh, I love when she was rummaging down the drawer and she pulled out 13 with the spoon and had pulled out I think, and then one of the Sonics that was still there where she took 4 star, that was the 9-10 Sonic. There's all that ivory handle. She rubbed that thing around and then with the scarf.
Love it.
I love all that. I'm here for that. Where was that license plate from that said who? H-O-H, the
was that
WHO and then
Bessie's?
T. Was that Bessie's?
If it's WHO then that's Bessie.
That it was a 1 because I couldn't tell what other letter was. You're right. Kevo got it. It's
The
Bessie.
Mobile. Oh,
Yes.
goodness.
Which I thought is what the moped color was referencing.
It is close. That shade of orange is kind of close to the yellow of the Whomobile. But like I said, I think the orange is a little bit more of a reference to carrots for Melanie.
That's one mistake I did pick up in this show, is when Melanie was driving to their studio, and when she was driving from the studio, they used the same clip or the same road.
That's like how in The Sopranos they're going south on the turnpike instead of north like they should be.
Ooh,
So-
that would drive me nuts. That's not
It
how to get
does.
anywhere.
It will. It will drive you nuts.
But I know Doctor Who had another vehicle, which a lot of people don't remember.
Who's 7?
It was who's Battlefield.
Oh, are
Yeah.
you talking about that boat-looking thing?
Yeah, yeah, the
That weird
hovercraft, yeah.
spaceship. But who? What was it?
Oh, I thought you meant his Vespa, because 11 also had a Vespa at one point.
Yeah,
The anti-grav climbing up the wall.
It
yeah.
looked like
It
who
was
were
like
they,
something
like-
you saw out of like
Anti-mav,
Gentle
Kevo,
Ben out
anti-mav.
before the globe.
Anti-mav, I'm so sorry, you're correct. What was I
We
thinking?
should. When will we discover about Mavity?
Or will we?
Or will we? I
Is it just
think
a lark?
Jack Foley also saw it in the cinema, and it's currently 2:30 in the morning. Right? It's 2:30.
Yeah.
Coming up to you. Yep.
Coming up.
2:30.
Okay.
So we've still got
So-
people from the UK here. Crazy bunch of fools.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's all you. It's all the people who drank Monster Juiced and all the other caffeinated drinks and are now
Yeah.
back, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I was hungry, so I went to Chicken Cottage because they were the only thing open, and now
Last
I'm back
call
home.
at the
and I
pub,
can't
got
sleep.
some chips, ready to go.
Yep.
Swung by the spoons. Went, you know.
Yep.
Had a
Go
pint.
get a kebabby. Get a kebabby.
Get a kebab.
Oh, the doctor was all out of spoons before he could figure this one out.
And
With
then he
one
got a
spoon.
spoon from
Then
someone.
he got a
Yeah.
spoon.
Yeah. It was very good. I think, like I said, the graphics have done it justice. And you can see that how much Disney's put into it, as in for the graphics and stuff like that.
And the face, I went on a tangent, but the face makeup too, for the
Mhm.
skull, having a little bit of the ridge, their contacts, all that other fun stuff. And bless the fact that when prosthetic makeup is no joke, having to put on the stuff, get your face cast so that way you could build the makeup for that person's face, because you're not going to just slap something on there. And that the two women are more advanced in age. So all that stuff on a face, both from the creature effects people having to make sure that that the skin was done well, because I used to help with that kind of stuff, and I know it's easier to do castings and stuff like that on you more youthful skin because you have more elastin, but you have to be a little bit more caring on somebody that's more advanced aged, or just older. I should say older.
Yeah.
So bless both
Okay.
actresses having to go through that fun of putting this stuff on and having to deal with, and then how many hours of makeup that they had to go before they had to shoot their long scenes and all that kind of stuff. And nobody shying away from the fact of having two older women go, yeah, we're going to put them in prosthetics. Let's go. And the women going, let's go. And not having to go,
Let's do
well,
it.
we could just get younger actresses to do this. And that they put the full on sclera eyes in, and very
did you see
awesome.
did you see the context that actually had the lines
Yes.
on the 3 lines on it? Can you pull up Jack Bully's question? Why didn't you?
Why did
Yeah.
most of the two?
Okay, I have a theory on that. He left
Yeah.
his mask. He left his mask on Mars. If you look at the end of period on Mars, he comes back without his mask. And so if he's trapped in a vortex without a mask, when he comes back, he wouldn't have a mask. That would just be my theory about the mask, why he doesn't wear a mask now compared to when he did in period Mars. So that's what I think. And just another question, Jack, which cinema did you watch it in? Did you watch it in Odeon or VUE? Was it a different chain of cinemas? Just out of curiosity, because I watched it in Odeon.
Jonah, I believe you were looking to jump off.
Yes, unfortunately, I do have to bounce, but I thought it was a great episode. Thank you so much for having me. This has been a truly wonderful experience getting to chat with everybody. Doctor Who is a very interesting show that entered my life at a very interesting point of when I was in high school, and the fact that I get to come back and come to this really, really fun, enjoyable season has been really enjoyable. So thank you to everybody. Thank you so much. And yeah.
And thank you for coming back and giving it
Yeah.
a chance for me. And you've had so many awesome, insightful things to say, and I'm really looking forward to having more coverage on X's for show. And thanks for joining us, and I'll see you in a little while to say goodnight.
Yeah. Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Kevo, I still want you to do that extra show, the Doctors versus Captains. I'm still waiting for that show to come.
Yeah, I think that will definitely be an interesting one. I think we need to work out some details on that, but especially now, I feel so much better and more prepared to study this season now that it's over. I'm not dissatisfied by answers. They aren't necessarily all the answers I wanted, but it's mostly that I just wanted answers. I wanted to know how I should be viewing this show. So I am really looking forward to, like I'd mentioned, Dave wants to do deeper examinations of the season. And I think there's going to be a lot of really interesting things to say. And I think that we have a better idea of Ncuti as a doctor to think about who we would pair him up or against in terms of Star Trek captains.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so looking forward to that show. I'm just like be waiting for when you discuss.
I think I'd put him against
like,
Kirk. I think that would be interesting. They're both such bombastic men.
Yeah, I think I will probably put Sisko versus probably Matt Smith.
Yeah. Ooh, very different types of yelling there. Absolutely. Love that. Yeah.
What about you, Tori? What Doctor and Captain would you put against each other?
It's so interesting that you asked me that as someone who is only peripherally aware of the Star Treks. But I would actually see, as you were talking about this, I was like, who would I put against Picard? And I'm just like, the obvious answer is to say Tennant, because that's your most like popular. It's the for the new Who. But I think I would, I presume you're gonna put Janeway against 13 because it's the girls.
That would be horrible, actually, knowing Janeway.
Janeway would eat Jodie. No offense.
All right.
Yeah, she would have no patience for Jodie. I think actually you're both
Janeway's your
9.
Yeah, I was literally, we came to the same
thought.
thought.
I was going to say
Janeway's
9 for Picard. But yeah, I think Janeway with 9 would also be interesting. Those are some good combinations. I don't know who I would put with Jodie. Carol Freeman from Lower Decks, probably.
I was going to say one of these new little young cool ones. Or the does the Orville count?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, all right.
If the Doctor Who movies count, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Ada allowed in on this game?
If Cushing counts, then yes.
Have there been 14 to 15 Star Trek captains?
I'd have to really think. There's been the point of a lot of the story of Disco was joining Michael Burnham as she becomes a captain. So there were multiple captains ahead of her. There have been multiple captains over the years. So it would really be a thought experiment as to how you wanted to do it. Because technically Sisko isn't a captain. You're like mayor of a space station for Deep Space Nine. Not quite the same as a captain. So a lot of people point to that. But he's the lead and he has the rank of captain. So like you go with captain. So yeah, it's very
What about you, Melanie? If you had to choose.
See, that's where I love Sisko, and I'm kind of in this because I want somebody that's also soft-spoken mostly, and then can bring the thunder. And I'm just kind of like almost trying to put that up against another Doctor. So I'm trying to go this. On one hand, I'm going similar. On the other hand, if I go too different, then they're just both want to just murder each other. So I was almost thinking fourth Doctor.
That might be fun.
Yeah, it's true. I was almost thinking fourth Doctor with Sisko, but then it's that same thing where if I put Tennant against somebody who also it's that I want to match the energy at least in the same level instead of not this makes no sense. Or the reverse way. Yeah.
I was also thinking this one said Cisco Troughton.
Troughton,
I think not only would that be funny, but Cisco and Seven would also be very funny. He would have no patience for that.
See,
So
I'm
I
sitting
like-
He's a
here
captain.
wondering how many doctors has Fox Mulder run into, and
Ooh,
which one
that's
was he
even
the closest
bigger
to
idea.
catching? Because also, now that X-Files is on the Hulus and all that stuff,
Yeah.
Fox and things, we could get something going. I know David Duchovny speaks highly of the remake these days, which is interesting.
I mean, I still want Gillian Anderson as any.
Well, yeah, no. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
if the doctor meets Scully, she's going with him. She doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no. Fox
He
isn't
can't be
going.
trusted.
He's not allowed. Scully, though.
I was thinking.
No, yeah,
of-
Fox wouldn't trust it. He wouldn't trust the doctor. He wouldn't go on a spaceship. As much as I could see him going, you'd think that he would want to run, but I could also I could see him psyching himself out from going on an adventure and just being too leery.
Mulder's
I
a
was-
It's
trap
Sully
and
be like, yes,
kill
no.
the Bigfoot kind of guy. He's not a study the scat left behind kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I was
this
thinking
would
of.
work better as well. Sorry, go ahead.
I was thinking of Tom Baker for Fourth Doctor with Captain Kirk of the Kelvin timeline.
Of the Kelvin
Interesting.
with Pine.
Because I feel like there is a lot of Doctor energy to Spock in the Kelvin timeline. So yeah, I could see that. I'm still not believing he died there. I'm still holding out hope that we're going to have a story where he's rescued. It's not that I hate the Kelvin timeline, but Spock, bring him home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea with Kelvin Kirk. Kelvin Kirk. That is a name.
Kelvin Kirk. KK for short.
Careful.
Yeah, I know. I said two. I said two.
That's why his middle name's Tiberius.
Yes, KDK.
All right. I am also going to sign off because I have to put some food in me before I pass out from sun exposure. But thank you so much for having me. It's been such a delightful experience. I love any show that has Kevo on it. And so I've been peripherally running amongst your comments a little bit. So wonderful to be on here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, as always,
Thank you, Tori.
for
Nice meeting
joining
you.
any broadcast I have. Yeah, and
Of course.
meet the people. I'm so glad that you got to be introduced to this team.
I'm just a
Yes.
crazy Brit.
Oh, there's a million of them.
Come on here.
I know. All right. Thanks all. Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Love you. Good stuff. She's good.
So, what's the time over there?
It is 9:41.
9:40.
Well, at least for me. Sorry.
More at the same
Is it
time.
Same time zone. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I keep forgetting that Ohio and Florida are still in the same time zone.
It's Dave, who's the little freak in a different time zone.
time zone, completely
Interesting.
different. Yes.
He
Wherever
was
he
supposed
is
to
right
be
now, somewhere
frustrated
in Canada.
on his evening. He's having
That's
a good
right.
night.
I don't think he is. I hope so. Oh, let me see.
Oh, talk about time zones. I worked out. I was right in the middle between you guys and Nisha.
That's so funny. That was
I
such a
think
great
that-
broadcast on Tuesday. I'm so glad she made it.
Right. I think that's probably.
Yeah, I'm starting to get
Oh,
tired.
I think most
Sort of
people are
spoil-
getting tired or hungry. Or
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one that has more say in this than anything. But yeah, I worked out.
I'm
I
good
worked
to
out
go,
in the
mate.
warehouse today, so
I
today was
can, I
not.
can carry on talking about Doctor Who all night.
I swear to God.
And we will be back. We'll be back on
Yes.
Tuesday for the proper review with more of our cast. Hopefully Nisha can come back again. Probably not, but maybe. That would be fantastic. Any of our old traveling TARDIS companions, hopefully we can get some voices on and just hear what everyone has to say. I feel like everyone has been pretty generally tepid at worst. And yeah, that's television. It's not always perfect. Sometimes it's not great. Sometimes you're just not in the mood. And I've enjoyed this season. I'm looking forward to talking about it more. I'm looking forward to whatever we have coming next on the rest of this summer, on the rest of this year, in the lead up to Christmas, and then next year again. We know we have a new season coming, and it's been a while since we've had that guarantee of more episodes coming again after new episodes so soon, and that's really nice.
And not having a 2-year to 1 to 2 year break between each one, and only one of them really being because of a global pandemic. But yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be on the Traveling TARDIS. We will be there on Tuesdays doing our review. That's kind of our typical time. Still echoing what Kevo said, doing the shorts, putting other things on. Absolutely, please check out X's for Show, because oh my lord, the content, which many of you are already on X's for Show watching this on from their feed. So oh my lord, yes. Even though I'm glad that logo's here, but logo over there too. This one. X's for Show on the pair.
I always get which hand to put up.
I know. You have to kind of
I've been working on it. I still mess up a lot. I try to remember that it's staged right.
Ta-da! Yeah, we'll get it.
We'll get it.
But yes,
We're always in the process of getting our stuff together, and that's okay.
Talking about stuff together, we're working on the website, so you guys want to check it out.
Yeah,
have a look on the website.
Mm-hmm.
It's still work in progress, and there's still a lot of stuff to do, but it's getting there.
all of the proper links are in the descriptions. Anywhere that you can find this broadcast, definitely check out Legend of the Traveling TARDIS on all social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and same here for X's for Show. Social media is what it's all about, and it's how you get in touch with us. Let us know what you enjoyed. Let us know what you want us to cover in the future, whether it's X's for Show or we cover a whole plethora of topics. We'll be covering the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9 tomorrow. We covered the Star Trek series finale last month, Dead Boy Detectives, Sonic and Knuckles, all these things. We cover all sorts of great stuff. And even on Traveling TARDIS, where the focus is Doctor Who, there are so many Doctor Who topics to discuss from this season, from classic, from all throughout modern, from the 61 almost years this show has been on. So there's always more to talk about. So come find us and come join us.
Yep.
And be part of the legend.
Yes.
And there
Any
are
final
times where we'll
notes?
talk things.
Hmm?
The one note I would just say when it comes to Traveling TARDIS is it's not always just reviews, even though it's very heavy. There are lots of if you're bored, go look at our catalog. We've been on for Lord knows how many years now. We have interviews with doctors. We did an interview with Sylvester McCoy. We did an interview with Paul McGann. We have a lot of companion interviews on there as well. And then we have us playing games of just random games, and then games of us rolling a dice and figuring out, okay, which doctor is going to fight which master and who from the multiverse of every character pantheon that we can think of and every Marvel, anything they're going to fight with. So yeah, I mean, we've done monsters, we've done all kind of weird kind of stuff. So if you love Doctor Who and like talking Doctor Who, come join us while we talk Doctor Who.
And if you ever want to see Melanie react to sherbet, it's also on there.
That stuff is terrible. Some of y'all's candies from the UK is absolute crap, and I have no problem saying that. And yes, there was one where he gave me 15 kilograms,
15 kilograms of candy.
A box of that rubbish, and some of it was amazing. Sherbet is just, those lollipops are just no. What's wrong with y'all? No.
It's like that meme when they're like, as soon as I found out what Turkish delight was, I stopped understanding Edwin in the Chronicles of Narnia. I would not turn on my family for that crap. Nuh-uh.
No.
It was chocolate covered rose soap gelatin.
It was a different time.
As a British person, hates Terry Fry. Turkish delight. It is the worst thing I've ever tried. It's like I'm going to tell you, it's like eating a bar soap. It's like swearing when you're a little kid and your mother washes your mouth out of the bar soap.
I can deal with Vegemite, but it depends. It has to be on toast. What was the thing that you absolutely abhorred for American audiences, or I'm sorry, American tastes, when I sent you candy?
Oh, what was that thing I didn't like? Those baked beans.
Boston baked beans. He hated them.
Never had it.
He hated Boston baked beans.
We have bad candy too. Exactly. Global, universal. We're all united by these things. things. So
what we do. Okay.
if we just give each other a chance, we all can find the same things disgusting and laugh about it. So,
that's our show.
and that's our show. I'm going to play the Tron video because I do like it. It's only 20 seconds. So thanks for watching. Make sure that you like. I don't know where it goes in. Comment. Maybe this goes a little bit slow. It could be 10 seconds. Share. And then I think there's also subscribe. Yes, there is. And come join us. Come be part of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS and the conversation with the Action Pack. And, you know, just come have fun. And if that's all, I'll probably let Tony play us out.
Oh, if you're in the Tampa Bay area, tomorrow is St. Pete Pride. The weekend is kicked off, and our huge festival in St. Pete has started. So, woohoo! Let's go.
Nice. Happy Pride. It's good stuff. These are good things. You know, everyone deserves to feel proud. Everyone deserves to feel seen. There's always something to be celebrating, whether it is Queer Pride, whether it is Mental Health Awareness Month for men, whether it was Veterans Month last month, whether it was Asian American Pacific Islander Month last month, Jewish American Heritage Month last month. These things exist, and when people are like, when was Veterans Month? It existed. So go look it up and go find things to celebrate, because there is a broadcast in our archive for Talk Like a Pirate Day.
And for the Spanish people, this Monday will be Fiesta San Juan.
There you go. So happy that. Happy Juneteenth this past Wednesday. Happy Pride. Happy Mental Health Awareness. Just be happy. And as Drew Carey says at the end of every broadcast, take care of your mental health and take care of each other. Sound good? All right. Play us out, Tony.